I just recorded the entire video last time looking at Paige and Alex and Gianni. So now it's me. It's me. I'm going, okay. Where's my mace? I gotta have my club. You guys might have to shift a little bit. I'm gonna put that way. I don't know how to do it. Okay, socialism took many forms, becoming especially popular among the working class. Who's the human? Socialism, communism, socialism, communism. Who's the human? Karl Marx. What year?
1848.
It's 1848 in the book. Oh, really? You have to look? Really? Somebody say without looking.
Communist Manifesto.
The Communist Manifesto. Listen, you guys, there's a really good reason why the Communist Manifesto, Paige, you have to keep going so I can see you. There's a really, she's like, no, I'm trying to hide from any camera in case. There's a really good reason why he writes the Communist Manifesto. Industrialization happened for 100 years in England. And what's it doing to humans? What's industrialization? Factories. What are they doing to humans? Just chewing through them like cogs in a machine. You have to know they became nothing more than a cogs in a machine. When Stefan lost his arm in a meat packing factory because he got his arm stuck, it's if he didn't pull him all the way into the meat, which they would have ground up anyway, including him. What happened if Stefan lost his arm? They go outside like, hey, brother, listen, that sucks. Listen, here's your arm. It's a little mangled, but anyway, have a good day. Next. Do they take him to the hospital? They pay for him to get his arm put back on? Do they anything? What becomes of Stefan? I mean, he's dead in days. If he makes it, days, right? The reason Karl Marx comes up with this idea of socialism is because the rich are making massive amounts of money on the backs of the laborers, who are women and children and the poor, and they're being just decimated. So of course he comes up with socialism. Go ahead. Utopian socialists advocated social and economic planning to create perfect societies based on cooperation rather than competition. So utopia, it actually means nowhere. And page more even still, please. Utopian socialists would make entire communities that was based off, and in the 70s they did the same kind of thing. They were called communes. People lived together and worked together and shared the responsibilities. Why isn't it effective? Right, because why do I work hard to teach you? Why? Does my salary help me? No, so then why do I do it? Because I want to. There's literally no other reason. What happens if I give you guys all packets like some people do? The administration is going to come storming in here and be like, hey, cut that out. Stand back up in front of your kids like you always do. Are they going to do that? No. No. It's some people are either motivated or not. And as a matter of fact, in communism, what's this guy going to do to me in communism if I'm working way harder and way more quickly than everybody else? What's going to happen?
Pay the same.
Huh?
Pay the same.
So what are you going to do? When I'm working really hard, and you're over there just sort of going about your life, what are they going to do to me? Nobody knows. Why? What am I doing about the rest of you guys that aren't trying very hard? I'm making you look bad. And what are the bosses going to think? All the rest of you should be going faster. So actually communism has worker slowdowns, people playing to the least possible, work effort, because if you work more, you get paid the same. So everybody's like, well, screw it, just slow down. Take your time. We got to do this for 12 hours today, so everybody do whatever you want to do. Socialism, communism doesn't work. The two deadliest human beings on the history of the earth are Stalin and Mao, and they are both communist dictators. Doesn't work. Not as a whole big thing. Communism and socialism are going to be interchangeable. People are going to use that interchangeably. Stalin calls it socialism in one country, but it's actually communism. Go ahead. Henry D. St. Simon believed doers rather than parasites must control the economy so that industrialization benefits all. Go ahead. You don't have to know about him, but it's important. These are the utopian socialists. Fourier proposed creating self-sufficient communities and abolishing marriage. Why? Communal. Share and share alike. Yuck. I don't know about these communities. Let's have it. Come on, Charles. Go ahead. Louis Blanc argued workers should unite to peacefully take over the state and to govern through social workshops. This is all because the wealthy are grinding people into the dirt, working 12 hours a day. Did I ask this class what it would be like if you had to be here 12 to 14 hours a day? How many of you are like, no, not doing that, even this. Look at, Adriana's just chilling, got her feet up. You gonna do it 12 or 14 hours? Oh, good, you'll do it? 100%. Look, she's like, I am a scholar. 100% she's doing it. That's not why. Go ahead. You're going to do it? That's fine. Proudhon opposed private property and religion and favored anarchy over organized government. What's anarchy mean? It actually means no government. We always hear about anarchy, and what do you always hear with that word? What?
Collapse of the government.
Collapse of government, violence, bad things. That's not what anarchy means. Anarchy just simply means what? No government. It just means no government. The reason that it is associated with that is because then if there's no government, then sometimes craziness occurs. But that's not the definition of anarchy. Go back for me one thing. So, opposed private property and religion. Why private property? This is Britain. This is France. Why private property? Who has it? Only the rich. What about Russia? The boyars, like 1% of the population, have all the land. That's why they oppose private property, because the rich literally have all of the private property. Go ahead. Go ahead. Yep. Robert Owen, a successful British industrialist, established international communities with communal ownership of property. He came here. I think that Robert Owen had a community in Indiana. So they worked or they didn't work, these utopian socialist communities? Clearly they did not. Because if they did work, what? They'd be around today. And so community, COMM, communism, all of that, it literally means to work together. Community. Like, community is a good word. Like, even churches talk about community, right? Having a community. That's a good word. That's where the word communism comes from, is working together and everybody benefiting equally from it. The problem is, as a government, it doesn't work that way because what? People are corrupt, people are greedy, people are selfish. Yes or no? They're going to find ways to cheat the system. Go ahead. In the late 1800s, the Fabian Society formed in Britain supporting evolutionary socialism, taking steps towards socialism through the legislative process. So you guys don't have to know all of this in general. You just have to know these are ideas that started to come about until we get to what person it doesn't really take hold. The one we already said for communism. Until we get to Karl Marx. All of these guys existed before Karl Marx. Karl Marx isn't out of nowhere in 1848. All of this, these utopian socialists, all occurred. Just like, do you remember the name of the people that came before Adam Smith in capitalism? They came up with laissez-faire. Physiocrats were the economists that came before Adam Smith, before Karl Marx, are these utopian socialists. So he doesn't come up with this all by himself. Go ahead. Utopians found a number of cooperative communities. They all founded, but they did inspire Karl Marx. That's basically what we have to know. Go ahead. Many women believe the values of the Enlightenment, equality, liberty, democracy should apply to men and women alike. We are getting into the 19th century, and that's the beginning of suffrage movements. Suffrage movements for us start like around the 1840s in the United States of America. You guys know. She's on a coin. What's her name? Elizabeth Cady Stanton. Who's the one that's on the coin? Susan B. Anthony. Right, that's the 1840s. It doesn't work at that time, but people believed in that. So this Enlightenment, they made all sectors of society say, like, wait, we want liberty and freedom. We want that. Go ahead. Many Europeans saw the ideal middle-class woman as an angel in the house whose role is that is of the family's moral guardian. You were supposed to teach the Bible, religious education, middle class. Watch this. 19th century. 19th century. Middle class families had servants. Servants. Anybody feel like you're middle class? Can you imagine going home and you have servants? Not servant. Servants. As a middle class household. Servants. Can you imagine? Someone making you a sandwich when you get home? Somebody making your bed when you get up? Who made their bed today? Who makes their bed every single day? Why? Why? Did your mommy make you do it?
No.
Did your mommy make you do it? She does. Did your mommy make you do it? You just do it. You just do it. I just do it. My mommy's not here. I just do it. You have to do it. So when you leave, you're never going to make your bed?
I'll just like have it.
Oh, so you think you will?
I'll have it.
You think you will? How many of you have not a chance your bed's ever been made? Are you serious?
Yeah.
You just leave it like that?
I can't stand next
I don't see the point
Huh?
in it.
I can't stand next by that. Mine's 5 feet in the air.
But what's the point if you're just going to mess up anyways?
So you have a,
Yeah.
a big
It's a
thing?
lot.
Huh? What'd you say?
I said, what's the point of making your bed if you're just going to mess it up anyways?
Because it looks nice.
But I'm never home.
Exactly.
I'm never home.
Yeah.
I have to make my bed. I've made my bed since I was a child. Since I was little, I've always been clean. Whose room is clean? Your bed is made, but your room's not clean?
Yeah, but that's
Clean? You're gonna be clean?
Most of it, yeah.
Yeah, don't marry any of these people. Look at them.
I was clean.
Look at them.
Don't make
I just
my
need
bed.
I have
yeah.
an entire corner of my room dedicated to wires.
Okay, watch. Johnny, open that cabinet, please. And a drawer. Now sit down.
What are you gonna do?
Can anybody do that?
No.
How many of you have a closet door open, or you have a drawer of your dresser open, or you have something open currently in your bedroom?
No. I can't do
I can't do that.
If you shut it, then
I can't stand that right this moment. Close it. Fix it. I can't stand that. I cannot stand an open cabinet. One time I got robbed, you guys. Like somebody really broke in my house. And I had a roommate, and she was on the other side of the house, Vicky. And so she had like a baby gate, because she had like 2 rooms on the other side of my house. And she had a baby gate because she had cats and I had dogs. And so neither of us knew we got broken into, because I go to bed early and she goes to bed late. So my dog was in my room with me. So nobody could tell that, like, my dog didn't know, because she just thought it was Vicky that she heard, you know what I mean, in the night. So she wasn't used to barking, because it was always my roommate. The next morning I woke up and my cabinets were open, and then the drawers were open. I was like, what is happening? Like, what was she doing in the middle of the night? Like, this doesn't make any sense. And then I looked further, and then the door of my house was open. The back door was open. And then there were windows gone. Do you know, has anybody have family in Florida? Anybody have family in Florida? Do you know the little windows that are slats? What are those called? The little slat windows? Like you crank them open and there's like little slats, right? And they took them out. And then they crawled into my house. And then they got a knife. My butcher block was done. Who has the butcher block thing with the knives? And then my big knife was gone. I was like, oh, somebody came in my house and got a butcher knife? Like, holy crap. They had a butcher knife. And so then when I realized, like, oh my God, like somebody was in our house last night. So I woke Vicky up and I was like, look, we were like, somebody tried to rob us. I have nothing to take. Like, I literally had nothing to take. They would have been so horribly disappointed. Don't rob a teacher. I've got nothing. Literally nothing. Like, there were some magazines, right? My house is clean. My living room, everything's all picked up. There would be nothing for that person to rob. They were probably like, really? All of this effort for nothing. There's nothing in here. The police had to come and dust for fingerprints and everything else. We never found out. I never got my butcher knife back. And so I have my little butcher block with no butcher knife from then on. So why am I at that? Why am I talking about that?
Middle class.
Middle class. If I had servants, I would have to make my bed. Holy crap. Go. This is on posterity. This is to be known for all of time.
Sorry about the bell.
Okay, you're welcome, no problem. Most women in the workforce were either single or from the lower classes, and the few married women worked outside of the home. Middle class and upper class women do not leave the home.
This man wearing.
Hi.
Hi, can you have Malia Vance come up after class and sign out for dismissal, please?
Yeah, is she in trouble?
Thank you.
She got in trouble? Are you in trouble?
No, I'm leaving.
You're leaving?
Yes.
Where are you going? Are you going to the beach?
I'm going to Florida now.
She's leaving! Malia! She's the star of every video. She and Gianni, they make the cut. They make the cut. You guys made the cut the whole last video. Oops. So, only poor women are working. Where? In the factories. And who's right there beside them? They're little kids. They're little kids, like in a little ball, like when my puppy used to be able to come in here, just a little ball on the floor. Until what? Just napping. They can't be awake for 12 hours and working for 12 hours. They're literally passed out on the floor asleep until something gets caught in the machine. They got to go get the thing out of the machine and then hope that what? That their arm doesn't get caught. They don't get crushed and mangled by the machine. Did it happen? Did it happen? Of course. They were automatic machines. Of course. We have steam engines making these machines go. Little kids had to go too. Go ahead. The working class. That's why they're called that. Law codes in most European countries gave women few legal rights. You couldn't divorce your spouse. If you got married, everything that you own now belongs to them. Very few legal rights. Go ahead. Oh, wait. This famous picture. Servants, right? And then guess what was also a big deal? Guess what was a big thing for all of time?
Affairs?
It's not an affair, right? An affair is a consensual thing. What was it?
Rape.
It was basically rape. It's basically rape. I mean, she wouldn't have to be held down or scream or whatever else, but she had to have sex with the guy. How come? What if she didn't? She didn't have a job. A good job in a middle-class home or a wealthy person's home. She made good money compared to people who had to do what all day? Work in factories, nasty, terrible, dirty, horrible factories, or in a beautiful, nice, clean house and have some somewhat good food to be able to eat. She would have to do it. That was standard practice that the men were sleeping with the help. Always known. You would have done it, Cody. All right, but there's other kind of help. Same. Feminist movements demanding women's rights emerged in France, Britain, and the U.S. They challenged status quo, political, and gender hierarchies. 19th century feminist movements. Put it down if you don't know it. 19th century, 1800s, especially like the mid 1800s, feminist movements. People are going to protest because they're like, come on. We're literally living and dying and breathing every second of our lives in these factories. It's oppressive. It is awful and terrible. People are dying. Go ahead. Many French women hoped the French Revolution would grant them equal rights to men, citizenship, and suffrage. What's that word, suffrage, again?
Right.
Voting rights. Go ahead. Olympia de Gouges wrote the Declaration of the Rights of Woman and the Female Citizen. She demanded that French women be given the same rights as the French men. So she literally writes basically the same thing that the men had written, only she made the exact same thing for women. That's a good EBD if you can remember, de Gouges. If you can remember her name, that's a really good EBD. Because she's demanding the same freedom and rights that everybody else is demanding in the Declaration of Man and Citizen, which was in France. She's doing the same thing. She said, except no, this should apply to women too. Go ahead. An English author, Mary Wollstonecraft, wrote the similar thing in England, A Vindication of the Rights of Woman. Wollstonecraft argued that women only appear inferior to men because of a lack of education. That if we educate them, what? We get Paula getting 9 out of 9 on her SAQ. That what is current events that's happening right now that's absolutely awful in another part of the world about women and education. Poison. Nobody seen it? Did you stop watching your current events?
I just haven't seen it.
Iran. Thousands and thousands of Iranian girls are being poisoned when they go to school. At the schools. What about the boys? Nope, because it's separate schools. Iranian women, because they don't want women educated. Go ahead. That women are more than capable if they got the education that men were given. John Stuart Mill, he's famous. Put that one down. John Stuart Mill invented utilitarian, who was an English utilitarian who invented the word feminism, denounced the legal and social inequalities women face. John Stuart Mill is a fabulous, famous, liberal reformer. So put him down. He's a great EBD. He's fighting for the people of the working classes. He's fighting for the people in the factories. He's fighting for the poor. He's fighting for women. Everybody that is held down by society, he's fighting for them. This is John Stuart Mill. Go ahead. We just said Elizabeth Cady Stanton and Susan B. Anthony were women at the Women's Rights Convention in Seneca Falls, New York, demanded voting rights, 1848, women's suffrage. They are famous. By the way, in 1868, oh, do I have to stop it?